Today, I want to do a live on finding and filling gaps in the market. Finding and filling a gap in the market, what is it and why is it important? So to keep things super duper simple, finding a gap in the market basically means that you are finding a solution for a common pain point or problem for your target audience and your niche that does not have any available solutions or quality solutions to it yet. And you're going to fill that gap in the market, meaning you're going to make the solution available. Quality. You're going to make the quality solution available to people, and that is always going to sell well, always. Now, obviously, if you find and fill a gap in the market and don't market it well, or you're not doing it, directly to your target audience, let's say you're just in a bunch of like promo groups and things like that, then that won't necessarily be successful. So all of the tips and tricks that you've learned from me thus far in other lives and things like that, finding quality groups, speaking to the people you need to speak to, doing what you need to do with your posts, your daily to-do stuff, that comes into play here as well. You guys know that one of the biggest reasons I love Facebook is because it is one of the best places to do market research, and there's multiple ways to do this. Now, first and foremost, if you guys have, a lot of you have my daily to-do list. If you don't, it's $3 in my store. You need it. You need to go grab it, especially if you're marketing on Facebook. If you guys are using and implementing that list, you are constantly going through groups, your feed, and constantly seeing information. You're constantly seeing posts, comments and posts about things to do with most likely marketing if you're in the wealth niche, if you're in the make money online niche. And you kind of start training your brain in a way to be extremely observant, but like smart, and retain certain information for certain reasons as you're going through and looking at this information. So for example, one of the important things is being in quality groups, okay? I see a lot of people that when they get started in marketing their business, they're quite literally just joining any and every single group that they can on Facebook, and just thinking in the mindset of any exposure is good exposure, or that all exposure is good exposure. For one, you get into a habit of posting in like over 100 groups or 100 groups a day or something like that, the same post in and out, in and out, in and out. That's a really quick way to get yourself banned. That's a really quick way to show Facebook that you are posting spammy things. They're not going to like that, okay? And we have a goal in everything we do with business to be extremely intentional, okay? We want to be very intentional with everything that we do, including what groups we're posting in. So if I am ever looking, like let's say I woke up today and I'm like, I want to find some new groups that I want to promote in and just kind of see what's around, because people are always constantly making groups, right? I go into the group, I see, is it a public group, is it a private group? Most groups when starting out are public groups, which is good because you can kind of preview what's in the group and like what kind of activity and stuff is going on, all right? If it's a private group, which like I said, most of them aren't, I look to see how many members are in it, okay? You don't need to shoot to try to be in groups with the most members, because that doesn't always mean anything. So, if it's a private group, I see how many people are in there compared to, usually it will show you some metrics as to how many posts there are a day. If it's a smaller group and there are like over 50 plus posts a day, you probably don't want to be in that group. There's probably just shenanigans going on. It's not going to be good exposure. If there's only a couple posts a day, I probably wouldn't want to be in there either. I would want to see maybe 10, 20, 30 posts a day in a smaller group. Now, if it's a public group, this is gold, because you can go in and one, I always click on the group name to see what the rules are, to see, do they allow any type of free promo? Is it a free promo everyday group? I try to avoid groups that are strictly promo, but the biggest indication of whether the group was quality or not is to go in to the group to preview the post. Look for posts where people are offering like freebies and see what kind of engagement they're getting, how many comments are on there, how long ago was the post made, And one of my biggest rule of thumbs is if I'm scrolling through a couple days and seeing a couple of posts where someone's offering a freebie and there is no engagement, nobody's interested, I do not join that group because nobody's really getting seen, okay? And then especially it's a double loss if people are going on these groups and just paying for any and all promo that they can, and you're paying promo for a group where you're not even going to be seen. That is tragic, okay? So quality groups, we want to be in quality groups, okay? Be in a mix of groups that have a high amount of people and a low amount of people. There's groups I join that they have a low amount of members. If I don't see that group growing within the first few weeks to a month that I'm in it, I end up leaving that group. I just have very strict rules as to where I am and where I'm spending my time. We want to be in quality groups. We want to be in groups where other new people are joining and they're going in and they're asking questions. So Digital Girl Cave is a great group. They just rebranded from Digital Product Babes. You guys hear me talk about them often. Faceless Digital Marketing is another great group. It's got, I think, 50,000 or more in there to go into my favorite groups that I know are quality, where I know I can find questions, new people asking things, and I can do some market research, but also engage, but also help people with value, right? So I will go into, let's say, Digital Girl Cave, for example. Let's say I just started my engagement for the day. I go into the group, okay? I do not just rely on my timeline bringing me what I need, because then I'm going to waste time. And eventually you will train your algorithm to bring you posts that you comment on where you're giving value, so it's not going to be as hard to find these posts. All right. But I go into Digital Girl Cave, and then I go and filter the post on the timeline or on the wall of that group to new post. So usually it's on like most relevant or newest activity or something like that. But since I'm engaging every day, I will go in and filter it to new post, and I go back within the last 24 hours to go through all of those posts, so that way I'm not going to miss any post where there's a new person asking a question. Here's the other thing. A lot of you guys get stuck in your head when it comes to commenting on posts and doing your engagement. I do understand why, because there are so many people that have been in the game, had their success, and they're commenting things that are value, and a lot of you are newer. And you're like, well, what am I going to offer that, you know, these 50 people who commented on the post are offering? You got to get out of that mindset. You got to get out of that mindset. You got to get back to the mindset of, I have value. I have a successful business. You know, I'm going to make connections. I'm going to make sales. And even if you're saying the same thing that somebody else in that thread is saying, they're not you. They're not you, and they're not going to present the information the way that you do. You could go in the comment section that has hundreds of comments, okay? And for one, my rule of thumb is that if I see a post and I know I can answer that question or put some sort of value in it, I do not read a single other comment in the comment section before I write my own. Do not read other comments, because even if I were to go and do that now with the success and knowledge that I have, I will talk myself out of even commenting on that post, and that could cost you followers, sales. That will cost you something, okay? I made a post like last week about responding to all the comments people leave for you, and literally I had somebody send me a friend request just because I replied and said you're welcome. And like, what if I never like even made a comment or anything? Like, you could miss out on so many small things, because even one follower that doesn't seem like a lot to you because you didn't make good sales that day could mean someone that wants to buy every single thing in your store weeks down the road, you know? So don't talk yourself out of commenting. So you could go in and say the same thing that 12 other people in there said, but put something in there relatable. So, you know, you guys see those posts where people come into groups and they're like, oh, hey, I'm Marie, and you know, I have 7 dogs and I love pottery, and like, I want to start making an income because da 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 da, right? You might be the only other person commenting in that thread that also does pottery. Or maybe you have 6 dogs. You know, you could say something and put something relatable in there besides just selling, all right? And they're going to resonate and read your comment, but maybe they just skim read everybody else's comment because they didn't resonate with it, even though you guys might say the same thing, okay? So never talk yourself out of commenting if you know you can put some sort of value in the post you're reading. So we want to be in these quality groups. And now that I've talked to you guys about not talking yourselves out of commenting. Stop scaring yourself out of sales. Stop scaring yourself out of connections, okay? And now that we are in these quality groups, because I've given you guys some advice on that, right? We are going through, and like I said, I'll go into the group, filter it to new post, and then go through like the past 24 hours. Every day I do this, okay? And I'm not saying I do this for every group I'm in. I pick like 3 or 4, and I'll go through those posts, and then I will spend some time on my timeline, all right? And just engaging. But while you're engaging, you are kind of just collecting information in your mind as well, as far as what you're seeing in these posts, what you're seeing in these comments. There may be a post that you don't comment and put some value on, but you open up and read the comments to see what people are talking about. It's kind of like having a newsletter. It's kind of like having a newsletter for what's going on in the digital marketing world. We're in quality groups, and we are being observant, all right? Especially, sometimes there's marketers that will post, you know, what is it that has you guys hesitant to start your own business? What is it that has you guys hesitant to start digital marketing? Sometimes people comment on those, sometimes they don't, but you always go and check the comments of posts like that, because the new people who do go and comment on there are going to basically be giving you free information about what their pain points are, why they don't want to start. And then you go and see how many people like those comments. If somebody goes in there and they're like, I can't afford the courses. Okay, did 12 people like that comment? That means what, guys? That means that a lot of people are relating to the fact that it's an affordability issue for them, okay? Which could also tie into it's a mindset issue for them, because, you know, for us people that are in marketing, right? A lot of you guys are in here right now that, you know, do marketing. We could have had those same issues of, you know, I can't afford it, or I don't have the time, or, you know, whatever those pain points are. But instead of us seeing them as obstacles, they became reasons why we needed to do this, so we could have more time, so we could afford things that we wanted to get and buy. And it's a mindset thing. And some people see that and they're like, oh my gosh, that sounds like spammy and scammy and MLM-y. No, it's not. Because if I would have never started in the beginning in not February, that's when I lost my job, in April, because I couldn't afford UBC, that's the course everybody was pushing. DBA wasn't a thing then, at least I didn't see it. And I didn't really know what other options there were besides everyone saying, you need to buy UBC or you're not going to make it be successful. I couldn't afford it even on payment plan. I'm sitting here making sure, like, I've got money to, like, get groceries, and, like, am I going to lose my house and be able to pay my rent? I'm not putting money into a payment plan for a $500 course that I don't even know really what it's going to do for me, right? If I would have quit and not had that mindset of, nah, I can't buy this course, but I'm going to find a way to make it work. You know, I needed to have a person that said, oh, you can't afford this. This is what you need to do then. And get into the solving. My brain just went dead trying to explain this, guys. Hopefully you get what I'm saying. But what if I would have quit? You know, and then I sit here and look at, I have 120 people in my mentorship group. And there's people that I have pivoted their mindset, and I've watched them go from being scared to start, or they started and they're just frustrated not seeing growth, or they bought something based on empty promises and got ghosted by somebody. And, you know, some people have spent thousands of dollars, and I've helped people from them buying something less than $100 from me, or like getting in my mentorship. I've helped them more than somebody they've spent thousands of dollars with. That is invaluable inspiration. It's crazy to me. So I am a couple thousand away from 30,000 in revenue, and I'm still frugal. I still, like, really can't justify going and spending that much money. You know, I could go and buy UBC and see what all the hype has been about since I started. I don't want to. I really truly do not believe people need to spend that much money to get started. I think that's crazy. You know, if I were to scale and start working with, like, big businesses and doing high ticket coaching and stuff like that, you know, fine. Like helping an organization or something like that, that's where people should spend money like that. If you're helping a company, you're helping an organization and scaling your business. I'm really pretty much always going to be right here in the trenches with you guys, the beginners, because there is so many things that need to pivot in digital marketing, and how people sell and how people try to connect with people and sell false dreams. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys and tell you, you need to do the put the time in. You're gonna have to work. You gotta have the right mindset. But this is possible. You can do this. And the people telling you you have to buy a course to be successful, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. And then there's people who, you know, they get in touch with these people telling them that about courses, or like telling them like, you're not going to know this or do this or blah, blah, blah without buying this. They quit. They decided they didn't even want to do it because they can't afford it. And they don't have somebody actually telling them what they can do without buying a course because that person just wants a sale. That's me literally seeing people every day who could have started a journey and done something to change their life, and they don't because of the way somebody tried to sell them. And that's devastating. That's devastating. You know, people do market in some ways that are truth about, you know, I have so much more time to spend with my kids. I can take weekends off. I was that person who, I worked in retail, I worked in finance, I had mandatory overtime days, and, you know, there's that guilt of like wanting to spend time with your kids, or just having to pick and choose what you can do, like when the holidays come around and stuff, like what you want to do with your family. I don't have to choose, and I can do whatever I want to do with my kids. And like, I want people to have that. It's a quality of life thing. It's not, you know, for so many other people, it's like, oh, I'm going to talk about quality of life and what I get to do with my family and blah, 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 because I want to make sales. The money is great. The money is going to be the general motive of why I'm doing this, right? But I genuinely care about you guys and want other women, especially the women who have been through things, okay? You guys know my story. To have that quality of life, to know that this side was here waiting for me to have quality of life after what I went through with my daughter and what I went through with my two boys and helping them grieve and getting through my own grief and having to put that grief on hold because of a job, because I had to survive. You know, seeing women that have been through domestic violence, seeing women that are, you know, they have medically complex children. I know that stress. I know that feeling of like, feeling like you're holding your breath all the time and you just want to breathe. Like, that's what it is for me. And like, I've seen people take that breath and exhale, you know. And like, a lot of people, they do sell like that, but they're selling like that for the money part of it. And it's like, I don't need to sell like that. People are going to come to me in the truth that I'm speaking, whether it's them buying a couple $100 course or whether it's them buying a $30 product from me. I want them to get what's going to help them and what they can afford. I'm not somebody that's going to tell you, well, if you want it bad enough, you're going to spend your rent money. No, don't spend your rent money. Absolutely not. That's wild to me. People that are like, go spend your rent money. And then they're frustrated and can't make sales because you ghosted them after they bought from you and they didn't get to pay their rent. Do you recommend rotating your posting in the groups you belong to? For example, post in some groups Monday. So I think that that's a better option if it doesn't overwhelm you to do that. So I'll be honest with you. So when I get up in the morning, I make my educational post on my profile. Okay. And then I copy and paste it into all of my groups if it's the educational part. If you start doing that every day, it can land you in the potential spam folder of groups. You have to be careful with your wording on Facebook. So like, I had to stop putting at the end of my post, follow me for more tips, because Facebook ended up thinking that I was trying to like bribe people to follow me, whatever, Facebook. So I had to put, at the end now, what I put is marketing with Mandy and then a little black heart emoji, and I put sharing daily tips on business, marketing, and mindset. So sometimes you have to play around with your wording. If Facebook goes and removes your post saying it doesn't follow spam guidelines, it doesn't really restrict your account from doing that, but you just have to pay attention to the notifications you're getting and what Facebook is considering your post to be. So I think that's a good idea if it doesn't overwhelm you to do so. One thing I will do as well is go in my groups, right? And I will post in 5 groups that same post. And then I'll wait 20-30 minutes. So like, after I post in those 5 groups, I'll go and do 20 minutes of engagement. And then I'll go and post in the next 5 groups. And then I'll go and do some engagement. Then I'll just repeat. What is your highest ticket item, if you don't mind me asking, due to being more focused on helping? DBA is my highest ticket item. And then here's the thing as well. So volume 3 is coming out November 8th, and volume 3 is going to end up being $444. Because of my branding and my tagline and my goal, DBA volume 3 is never going to be in my store, because I don't believe people need to spend $444. I just don't. So will I promote and market DBA volume 1 and 2? Yes, because both of those have value. Getting DBA is what took me from earning $5K without a course to my first 5-figure month. June, what? Well, so Angela, if you, let's say you don't have DBA at all, no volumes of DBA. If you were to go and buy volume 3 when it comes out, it comes with volume 2 and 1. Same thing with volume 2. You're paying for volume 2 for $222, but you're getting volume 1 with it. But a lot of people don't understand or remember, you can also still, to this day, just go and get volume 1 of DBA. That's going to do a lot for you as well. It's going to teach you all of the basics, all of the foundational things that you need for your business. And people think they have to have all the volumes to be successful. You don't. And you can do the volume 1 for $111 and get it on a payment plan. That's super affordable. So another one of my good sellers is my Facebook marketing collection. Even though, like I said, there are a bunch of other people coming out with Facebook products, courses, blah, 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 blah. And if somebody couldn't genuinely afford a course and they needed something to help them learn how to market right here on Facebook. Yeah, I think that's part of why I do well in my sales, because, you know, I have DBA. I do truly believe in DBA. I could talk about it all day, but I'm not just pushing a course. I learned how to make my own products, how to find and fill a gap in the market. Okay? I learned how to lock in my branding, how to connect with people authentically, show up as myself, learn those skills. And I created my own bundle, my own products. Look at how well my Facebook e-marketing book does. Because at the time it was released, people needed that information. Imagine not having a boss that makes you feel bad because you want to do something with your kids. Or making you work overtime because one of your kids is sick. Or God forbid, you lose a child and you need to grieve and take some extra time off work and getting fired over it. You know what I mean? So another thing that people can do, I have posted about this a little bit, but I think that people forget about it or don't remember it. Anonymous posting. Anonymous posting. You guys want to connect with people in marketing and what they need. Maybe they're struggling in the group, but they don't really post a lot or comment a lot because they get nervous. Do a poll. Make a poll in a group anonymously. Ask a question anonymously. Okay, I tell this to people when it comes to pricing as well. People are like, oh, I made this product, this is what it is, da 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 da. I don't know what to price it. Instead of going and looking on Etsy where everybody lowballs all of their pricing and everybody's just competing price-wise, which is a horrible way to market. Somebody told me when I first started, if your marketing gets to a point where you're trying to have the best price, you failed. You have failed, and you need to pivot and get back to different types of marketing, because that is not how you should be focused and centered with marketing. Good morning, Patricia. So instead of going on Etsy and looking at all of the lowball offer pricings, whatever, go into groups and pretend like you're a customer looking for the product you just made. Hey guys, I'm looking for a product that da 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 da. If anybody has a product similar to that, even in the same niche, something even similar, it doesn't have to be exact, they're gonna drop their links, because everybody's looking to sell and drop their links, right? And go and get an average of what it's selling for. Okay? And you're anonymous, so nobody's gonna flood your inbox and be trying to sell you and cold DM you and all that jazz. Put an anonymous question, like, you know, or a poll. What do you guys feel like you're struggling the most with your business? You know, is it engagement? Is it sales? Is it getting leads? Is it converting your leads? Is it, you know, make a poll. What do most people vote on? Put a poll in multiple groups, not just one. Anonymous posting is a great way to do market research. Really, like when you're looking for market research and pain points and ways to find gaps in the market, it's really more in the comments than it is in the posting. So like, even if there is a post of somebody selling something, right, or somebody doing a very vague post, I hate those posts. I hate them so much, but they work so well and it just irritates me. So somebody makes a post about something vague like that, right? And somebody in those comments is going to be like, how? Like, how? What are you talking about? And sometimes other conversations can evolve in the comment section of a post that you wouldn't expect. And that's why I tell you guys, be observant in the comments. You don't have to comment everything on every post. You know, share your value, but be observant as well. And that's really truly how you find gaps in the market. It's a lot harder to do on Instagram and TikTok and other apps. You can do it, but it's not as in your face the way it is on Facebook. That's part of why I love Facebook so much. If you base your products around filling gaps in the market, but also make sure it's something that you can talk about. Do not be that person that goes to put products in your store and you've never even opened them or read through them, can't answer questions about them, haven't proofread them, check the quality, check the formatting. Is it a product you're aligned with? Like, do not think I'm sitting here trying to tell you guys to only sell what is going to sell well or what other people are selling, what's going viral. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. Be aligned with your products. When you are aligned in your products and you believe in your products and you are passionate about your products and you truly see why people need the products, it's not even going to feel like selling. Finding and filling gaps in the market. If you launch a product that fills a gap in the market, even if other people, let's say, have made products about it, right? But it's not quality. Okay? I might get some hate for this, but how do I want to word this? We still need some good Reddit guides out there. Okay? A lot of people have kind of crack some codes on reaching people on Reddit. Reddit is not the place for me. I will not be filling that gap in the market because my mouth will get me in trouble. You gotta have a very thick skin. And I have a thick skin, but Reddit, too much negativity, too many men who probably still live with their mom who want to argue with women about digital marketing. I just don't have the time. But we still need some quality Reddit guides or Reddit courses. When I did my Facebook list product guides, for example, a lot of people were putting these lists together. Not a lot of people were putting a posting schedule with their list. Right? Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying with finding and filling a gap in the market, kind of ways how to do it, how to do some market research, and really put that into practice. You know, if, like I said, if you have my daily to-do list, you're doing that engagement every day for at least 30 minutes. And just getting in that practice of being observant while you're doing your engagement and putting value in. And see what is the common denominator of people who have just started and aren't seeing success, or people that are hesitant, and what are their obstacles in their mindset. You're welcome. I just wanted to come on and elaborate a little bit more on that stuff. So I love y'all. Have a kick-ass day. Bye.